Good evening and welcome to the Wall Township Public Board Business Meeting of the Wall Township Board of Education for Tuesday, July 15th. Let's have the stand for the flag salute, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Mr. Smythe, sunshine announcement and roll call, please.
Yes. Good evening. This is the Wall Township Board of Education meeting for which adequate notice under the Open Public Meeting Act was provided by a notice to the CoStar, Asbury Park Press, Township Clerk's Office, all Wall Township Public Schools, and the Board Administration Office on January 9th, 2025. Take a roll call. Ms. Adams?
Here.
Mr. Adenizio? Ms. Barbier?
Here.
Mr. Brereton?
Here.
Mr. Buffa?
Here.
Ms. DiGiovanni?
Here.
Mr. Smith?
Here.
Mr. Wondrak?
Here.
Mr. Mallett?
Here. At this time, I'd like to ask for a motion to go into executive session for those items indicated on the agenda.
I'll make that motion.
Ms. DiGiovanni, Mr. Brereton, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. At this time, we're going to go into executive session for those items we anticipate being back at 7:30. Thank you. Welcome to the regular Board of Education meeting for July 15th, 2025. Please stand for the flag salute. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Mr. Smythe, roll call, please.
Take a roll call. Ms. Adams?
Here.
Mr. Anisio? Here. Ms. Barbier?
Here.
Mr. Brereton?
Here.
Mr. Buffa?
Here.
Ms. DiGiovanni?
Here.
Mr. Smith?
Here.
Mr. Wondrak?
Here.
Mr. Mallett?
Here. At this time, I'd like to turn it over to Dr. Handerhan for the student showcase.
Thank you very, very much, Mr. Mallett. It's my pleasure to introduce our Assistant Superintendent of Curriculum and Instruction. She is going to begin by sharing some really special news that we received recently about one of our students, and we're incredibly proud. So, Ms. McCann?
Sure. Good evening. America's 250th anniversary will be celebrated in 2026, and the Monmouth County Board of Commissioners has organized a series of events and activities for schools and communities to take part in this historic milestone. One such event was a county-wide poetry contest held this past spring called What America Means to Me. We are proud to share that students in Wall in grades 3 through 8 participated in this contest, and we are especially excited to announce that one of our 5th grade students earned first place for the 5th grade category. Congratulations to all who participated, and a special shout out to our winning poet, Isla Pham, for this outstanding achievement. At this time, I'm going to speak a little bit about Isla and then ask her to come up and read her poem for us. So Isla is a talented and well-rounded 5th grader from Allenwood Elementary School who has already made a mark through her achievements and rich cultural heritage. As we mentioned, she won the 5th grade category for the Monmouth County Poetry Contest. Her family's story is a powerful part of her identity. Her father fled Vietnam at just 3 years old alongside his mother, and that spirit of courage and resilience lives on in Isla. Isla loves dancing, bringing energy and emotion to every performance. She's reached a significant milestone by playing piano at none other than the Carnegie Hall in New York City, an extraordinary feat for anyone, especially a 5th grader. And beyond the arts, Isla is active and enthusiastic in sports, and she particularly enjoys playing tennis, demonstrating a competitive spirit. At this time, I'd like to welcome Isla Pham.
What America means to me. The people in our country are allowed to speak their mind, but in some countries that law is behind. My dad was a person who fled with his mom from a country whose freedom is measured in just one palm. When my dad came to America, he heard freedom ring. In his land, one is jailed for saying the wrong thing. They went on a boat across the sea, running away from the enemy. Both of these countries are different in many ways, from freedom to food to nights and to days. And to this day, I am very glad that my dad came to America as a young lad. Thank you, America, for the freedom and rights we have here. In my heart, I will always hold you dear.
I will stay up here. Dr. Handerhan and Mr. Mallett, our Board of Ed President, is going to present you with a certificate. Okay? You did a wonderful job.
Thank you.
Isla, I just want to tell you that we are so incredibly proud of you, and your poem really was incredibly moving. And I'm very biased because, you know, I always think our students are the best, but you really put so much heart and soul into that poem that I just wanted to thank you, and I'm so grateful that you came out this evening. So, our Board of Education, this is our board president, Mr. Mallett, and we have a small token just to represent how proud we are of you. So here we go.
There is no,
Mr. President,
yes, Mr. Adenizio.
her poem was incredible. I mean, that encompasses, I mean, there's so much divide in this country, but, I mean, her poem speaks to the heart of what America is. I mean, I mean, everybody here has relatives that have come from someplace else, but, you know, her being a first generation, I mean, it really means something. As a district, would it be appropriate for us maybe to forward this to our Congressman Chris Smith, and maybe he could pass it along to the higher-ups in the federal government to be part of the celebration next year?
Well, we'll have to speak with Isla's family, and
Yep.
that's something we can absolutely look into, because I do know that the county themselves are going to be celebrating it as well too. But that's something that we can absolutely speak with Isla's family about, and we can. I want everybody to read it, so.
Oh, absolutely. Thank you.
So I think we're on the same page, Mr. Adenizio.
Thank you, Mr. Adenizio. Excellent suggestion. Okay. All right. At this time, there is no student representative report tonight. So we're now going to go to our first public comment session. And I'd just like to make the following announcement. The board requests that those individuals speaking will be courteous and mindful of the rights of other individuals when making comments. Specifically, comments regarding the individual students and school personnel are discouraged and will not be responded to by the board. Students and employees have specific legal rights afforded by the laws of New Jersey. The Wall Township Board of Education bears no responsibility, nor will it be liable for any comments made by members of the public. Speakers should consider their comments in the light of the legal rights of those affected or identified in their comments, and recognize that they are legally responsible and liable for their comments. And I ask you to please observe our policy of 3 minutes per speaker. Public comment is open. The microphone is right here. Please, anyone for public comment.
Betsy Cross, I live in Wall Township. Congratulations, that was wonderful, and what a great story. Thank you for coming to America. All right. Wanted to go over a couple things. I noticed on the agenda tonight we have something that is a rescission for employee 11732 effective tomorrow. I did do a search on the agenda tab, and nothing comes up for employee 11732. So I hope this isn't some type of backdoor deal that you were doing, and you don't have it on an agenda, and now you're rescinding it. But if you could advise how that happened, how are we rescinding something that you don't have on any agenda on your own website? So I'd like an update for that. Another thing is, on your agenda, under the business office, item number 17, under the consent agenda, Mr. Smythe does not have anything attached for transfer of funds, so we don't know what he's transferring. Board Secretary certification, June 2025, where he has to certify he has all the funds he needs. And the Treasurer's report and Board Secretary's report as of June 2025. Now, to me, this is kind of a big deal. Like, I don't know how you could have this on the consent agenda. Just take off A, B, and C because you don't even have it here. So when you're voting tonight, I think you have to kind of figure out, please don't be voting on something that you don't even have. So I wanted to mention that, and I might have sent that to the controller's office tonight. I can't remember. I do notice your May, what you had online for May 31st, health benefits, you had $243,000 left for health benefits. But you did post, you have health benefits totaling $1,450,690. So you're in the negative, well over $1 million. So maybe that's why it's not attached tonight, so that people can't see it, but something is not adding up. What else? Looks like we got 9 resignations, 4 retirees. And what else? Looks like we got 2 new lawsuits for the football. So I think we're up to 4 or 5 lawsuits. So this is something that was just never handled properly to begin with, just a cover-up from the start, and it's costing millions and millions of dollars. So the board members involved are Kathleen DiGiovanni, Ralph Adonisio, Cody Smith, Samantha Adams, James Maliff, Thomas Buffa, Ken Wonderak, Maren Barberi, James Bredeton. So those are our current board members. So I look forward to your response on why employee 11732 was never on an agenda prior.
Okay, thank you, Mrs.
Thank
Cross.
you.
Do we have anyone else for public comment?
Hi, good evening.
Good evening.
My name is Leah Bibby. I live in Wall Township. My kids go to Central, and I spoke at the last board meeting, and I just wanted to speak again. Nothing has come of the last 30 days since the board meeting prior to this with regards to the issue at hand for the elementary schedule changes, specifically regarding the meeting the state mandate of 150 minutes for phys ed health and wellness. There are cases open. For those who are watching at home, there are open cases against the board and the district regarding you guys not following the law with regards to having that time instructed by a licensed physical health and wellness instructor. I have spoken to the New Jersey AFERD Association, which is the state chapter for the Association for Health, Wellness, Physical Education, and they are aware of our situation. They are also in communications with other districts, a few other in the state who are dealing with the same thing, and they are going to help us. They are going to help us with whatever they can do to make right. This is wrong. I'm not saying that kids need to be 150 minutes of running around every day. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying if you want to bring in a health and wellness program that's 75 minutes, 15 minutes a day, that needs to be instructed by a licensed physical education teacher, someone who has a bachelor's degree and a teaching certificate, an active teaching certificate. That means that they take continuing education classes to maintain their licensure, and they are trained, and this is what they do. Okay, your elementary school homeroom teacher who teaches English and math, that's what they do. They don't do this, okay? I also wanted to, sorry, I'm nervous. We are also in discovery right now with those cases. And so we will be reaching out to the board for licenses for the people who are going to be teaching this 15-minute morning session, which you are going to be counting towards the 150-minute mandate. I'm also planning on reaching out to the National AFERD Association, which is now called SHAPE, and I'll be enlisting their help as well. Thank you.
Good. Thank you very much. Do we have anyone else for public comment? Mrs. Moore.
Good evening. Gail Marr, President of the Wall Township Education Association. If Mr. Scarano was here this week, I might not have the questions I have this evening, so excuse me for that. There is a position on tonight's agenda, and we love the teacher. We just are not clear about the position. It says teacher on the agenda, but when speaking with Mr. Scarano, that teacher is going to be a special education interventionist traveling amongst 4 schools. We requested information from him at the end of the week about that position not being posted, and he said that it did not have to be posted because of the certification needed being the same. What we understand is any new position should be posted. We do understand it's not a new position. It's a position that spot is being used from another position that is not needed. But if we have a teacher traveling to all 4 elementaries, there's a lot of questions about who is observing, how will it work, 5 days, 4 schools, how will that all rotate? And there is no specific job description for a special education interventionist. So we would hope that you could pause that approval of that position until there is a job description. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Is there anyone else for public comment? Okay. Seeing no one else at this time, I'm going to close public comment and go to Dr. Handerhan. We have a special presentation.
Dr. Henner, if I may, just to clarify, I just want to clarify with regard to the public comment on the business office. We don't remove placeholders on the agenda if they're not on there. However, on the agenda with regard to the Treasurer and Secretary's report, it notes under the public comment that the June Secretary and Treasurer's report will be provided at the August Board of Education meeting for approval. So, just wanted to clarify that. It is referenced.
Thank you, Mr. Smythe.
You're welcome.
Dr. Handerhan.
Thank you very much. This evening, we have a couple presentations, and I just feel like I'm going to be calling up our Assistant Superintendent of Curriculum and Instruction because we are obligated to share information, and we're proud to do so. And we're going to start this evening with the presentation for the NJGPA. This is with respect to test scores, and Ms. McCann will be joined for the second presentation regarding chronic absenteeism with Mr. Laughlin and Mr. Davis, our principals from our secondary schools. So without any further ado, I welcome Ms. McCann to our first of 2 presentations this evening.
Thank you. Good evening. As Dr. Handerhan had mentioned, as part of our requirements, whenever there is a state assessment that is administered within the district, once the district receives the results, we have a certain amount of time in order to share the results to the board and to the community. So our first presentation is on the NJGPA, which is the New Jersey Graduation Proficiency Assessment. This assessment is administered to all grade 11 students in March. The NJGPA is designed to measure the extent to which students are graduation ready for English language arts as well as mathematics. The graduation readiness is reported separately for each content component. The ELA component is aligned to grade 10 standards, and the mathematics component of the assessment is aligned to Algebra 1 and our geometry standards that are outlined by the NJDOA. For the past 4 years, this is our results of our data in terms of English language arts literacy. You can see we had a little bit of a dip from 2024 to 2025 with 89% of our students showing and demonstrating that they are graduation ready as rising juniors and going to be seniors. Any students who were not successful in passing the English Language Arts literacy section of the testing will have the opportunity to retake that assessment in October after receiving some intervention and remediation classes through the high school in September. We're also required to share out by subgroup. So you'll notice at the state level, graduation rate is at 80.70%, and we are at that 88.6% proficiency. In looking at the trends over the past several years, similar to the last slide, many of the subgroup data is very similar to what you see now. There's variations of about 1% or 2% over time, but nothing drastic within each of our subgroups. But the way in which we use the subgroup data is in order for us to hone in and decide, are there certain groups that we could be working a little bit more diligently with in terms of our curriculum and our courses. And you'll see also at the end in a couple of slides as to what our next steps are. In terms of mathematics, we're pretty steady over the past 4 years, hanging around that 72% mark. Again, any students who are not proficient in meeting the standards in the mathematics component will have the same opportunity to retake that portion of the assessment come October. Here is our breakdown by demographic group. If there is a group that you would anticipate seeing up there, or you see the dashed lines in either this slide or the previous slide, it's because the reporting group is less than 20 students and they're identifiable, so they're not allowed to be reported out. Our intervention strategies moving forward is to continue to review the standards that were assessed on each of the assessments. Once the district receives the data, we receive a report called the evidence statements, which are the standards that were assessed on each of the assessments, both in ELA and math. We then use that data to see how we compare to the state. And we also use that data to look at where those standards fall within our curricula to see if we need to make adjustments in terms of our scope and sequence. We also look to see if there's something within our instructional practices that may need to be tweaked in order to meet the needs of our students. We continue to provide professional development to all of our teachers. And we also, like I mentioned, in September, we'll start to offer our Nights for Success program, which is our intervention program for the students who need a little additional academic support in order to meet those standards come October. And that is our NJGPA results. Thank you. Our next presentation is on chronic absenteeism. I'm going to go over a little bit about what chronic absenteeism is according to the New Jersey Department of Education, as well as some steps we took this past school year, which is why Mr. Laughlin and Mr. Davis will join me, and then we'll talk about next steps as to what we are planning on doing for 2025-2026 school year. So what is chronic absenteeism? According to the New Jersey Department of Education, a student who is considered chronically absent is considered chronically absent if the student misses 10% or more of the school days in session for which the school was enrolled. In addition to that, the student absentee rate is determined by the number of days absent divided by the number of days present plus the number of days absent. They calculate our school chronic absenteeism rate by the number of chronically absent students divided by the number of students enrolled. Every year, every district in New Jersey is required to submit our absenteeism data through a system called currently NJ Smart, but is changing, to the NJDOE. If you've ever looked at our performance reports that come out in the spring, chronic absenteeism is one of the criteria that we are rated on within those reports. And that is how they receive our data and calculate whether a district or a school within the district is chronically absent. Every district who is, or school who meets that 10% or greater mark is required to create a corrective action plan. And the NJDOE specifies what needs to be included in that plan. So we were required to look at our problems and barriers in terms of school attendance, make recommendations to address those problems and barriers, communication strategies to educate and inform parents on the importance of school attendance, protocols on informing and engaging parents when a child begins to show a pattern of absences, as well as review school policies to ensure that they support improved school attendance. In addition to that, any school, which Mr. Davis at the high school and Mr. Laughlin at the intermediate school this past year did, was we are required to solicit input from parents attending the school via a survey that include questions related to parents' beliefs regarding the reasons why students are chronically absent and recommendations on the ways to improve. The school needs to engage the school's parent organization in identifying the cause of the school's high absenteeism rate and possible solutions, as well as the school shall present the corrective action plan to the Board of Education annually and revise the plan and present the revisions to the board until the percent of students who are chronically absent is less than 10%. In order to create those plans, when doing that, there is a team that is put together, and we take it from a very strategic approach of looking at our data to inform our decision making. We assess the different causes and barriers, like I mentioned. We build and reflect on different strategies, as well as implement those strategies and monitor their successes. And then there's always the parent and caregiver survey. And then we have to create a plan for sustainability to ensure that if we are starting to make the success that we need in getting to less than 10%, that we can sustain whatever incentives and strategies we have put into place. So you may be asking, why are we going all of this? Because we did, as I mentioned, have 2 schools that were chronically absent this past school year. And that is Wall Intermediate School and Wall High School. So at this time, I'm going to invite Mr. Laughlin and Mr. Davis up to talk about some of the things that they put into place this past school year.
So to just give context to where we are, the absentee rate shown there for the intermediate school and for the high school is actually the data that's collected from the 23-24 school year. So as of the end of June of 2024, we had an absentee rate of 12.2% for the intermediate school. And we tried to look at the chronic absenteeism in a bunch of different ways, looking at it as a grade level to see if any grade level in particular stands out. For us at the intermediate school, 7th grade, I think, was significantly higher in absenteeism than the other 2 grades. We also look at our students that are special education students and then some of our other subgroup populations. But for us, the one thing that did stand out is the sizable difference between 7th grade when compared to 6th and 8th.
And for the high school, you can see that the rate for the high school at the end of the 24 school year was 13.8%. Similar to the middle school, we looked at different subgroups, the most obvious one being the grade levels. You can see that between 9th, 10th, and 11th, it's fairly close, and you see an increase with the 12th graders. When we looked at the year before, there's even a higher number of 12th graders who are chronically absent, so that was an area for us where we noticed seniors who are also driving to school, and in the spring sometimes like to take days off. So that's something that we know that we need to deal with. The seniors do have a slightly higher rate than the other grade levels. Something, too, that I just want to add before we move to the next slide, that Ms. McCann said there's 10%. Students have to be absent 10% of the school days. That might sound like a lot, but it's only 2 days per month. So if a student misses 2 days per month, that's 20 days, and they are chronically absent. If they miss 18 or more, they're chronically absent from school. So just to put that in context, it does not take a whole lot to reach that point. So just wanted to share that as well. So
some of the things that we did, you'll see will mirror each other between the intermediate school and the high school. One thing that we did do is we sent out a survey, which Ms. McCann referenced earlier, and she'll talk about it a little bit later in the slide presentation. And in that survey, it was pretty interesting information to see that the parents did not have a clear understanding of absenteeism in the district and how it applies to their students. So we'll talk about that a little bit later. But for our purposes, some of the things that we did this year is we put out a parent information letter. We did identify any high-level absenteeism students. Moving down to the fourth bullet, based on the identification of those students, we worked with counselors to try to reach out to parents and speak to the parents that we needed to talk to about the issue that we are seeing, whether there's a pattern that we're seeing with their child from one year to the next, and try to get them to put some things into place to get their child into school more regularly. Additionally, from an administrative standpoint, myself and Mrs. Scott and Mr. Lintner made quite a few more phone calls this year than we have in the past to actually address the parents if the intervention with the guidance counselor meeting or face-to-face meeting with the guidance counselor did not produce the results. And then for the intermediate school, we did pursue truancy procedures as needed.
So similar to the intermediate school, we also completed a survey as required. I guess some of those results will be shared later on, but similar to the intermediate school, we also learned that parents don't necessarily have a full understanding of what it means to be chronically absent, and I think we could do a better job of educating folks in terms of what it means, how many absences it takes before a student is chronically absent. Parents did respond. It seemed like families indicated that they do value student attendance at school. The top two reasons that students miss school, according to those who responded to the survey, the largest was student illness. Over 90% of respondents said the most common reason for their student to miss was illness. The second highest was vacation, about 40%. So something for us to consider in terms of trying to communicate with parents about the importance of trying to take those vacations at times outside of school. Another thing that came out in the high school survey was people indicating that they weren't necessarily aware of what kind of resources or support were available at the high school if their student was struggling and coming to school. So again, we recognize that that's an area of improvement for us to share out more information with folks about the resources and supports that are available at the high school if you're struggling to get your student to school. So we also sent a parent information letter. We have some teachers that are assisting with us, a position that we call Dean of Attendance. These are teachers with an administrative certification who are working with our administrative team and counseling team to meet one-on-one with students who either are chronically absent or have been. So going into this school year, we'll be meeting with students who were chronically absent last school year to set goals with them, talk about that, and try to attack that and give them supports that they might need so that this coming school year they're not chronically absent again. And they will monitor that. We will monitor that throughout the school year, checking in at various points throughout the year to meet with those students, to have one-on-one contact with them, as well as personal contact with the parent via phone call, letters home, to remind them of the importance and let them know where their student is and if they're in danger of becoming chronically absent. If it gets to the point where the student is in the action plan, we have to identify tier 1, tier 2, tier 3. The student is getting very close to becoming chronically absent, then it's a meeting in the school with the parent, with one of the deans of attendance, counselor, assistant principal, myself for those chronic students.
Thank you, gentlemen. So with our end of year where we landed this year, knowing that we had intermediate school and high school, we started to analyze our current year data for the upcoming 25-26 school year. And this is our data in terms of our calculations for next school year. You'll notice Allenwood would not be considered chronically absent. They're at 4.7%. Central is at 11.4%. Old Mill, 9.8%. West Belmar, 10.5%. while intermediate 11.2%, so you are starting to come down, thank you, as well as the high school has had a small reduction in terms of their percentage and moving to 11.3%. So some of those strategies that they have put in place in each of those buildings, I believe are working well, and I look forward to seeing some of the additions that we put into place in the upcoming school year. So what does that mean for the district? So we did a data dive last week during our admin retreat. And we started to see, just similar to what Mr. Laughlin and Mr. Davis were talking about, in terms of what grade levels should we be highlighting or looking at and focusing on in the upcoming school year. At Central, we seemed to think and look at grades 4 and 5 tended to have a higher absenteeism rate. In West Belmar, seeing West Belmar is a smaller building, it was pretty close in terms of when you grouped the grade levels together, whether it would be considered K to 2 or 3, 4, 5. It was off by a percentage, but I went with the greater for the presentation of it being K to 2. At intermediate school, I would say it would continue being probably around those grade 7 students, maybe a portion of those grade 8 students, and high school, our incoming grade 12 students. So what does that mean moving forward? So similar to all of those questions and components that were required to have in the plan, in looking at some of that attendance and knowing the history of those attendance, our problems and barriers continue to be illness, travel, some students who have some mental health concerns and who are out for long periods of time, some students at the high school who are taking care of younger siblings in some cases, as well as some students who are working in the evenings and are just too tired to wake up in the morning possibly and get to school on time. So what are some of the steps that we talked about in terms of strategies that we could do a little bit better? We're talking about creating a district campaign. One of the campaign slogans that was thrown out there was attendance heroes, in terms of having those students who are attending at a greater rate being considered our attendance heroes and being celebrated at each month or periodically throughout the course of the school year, increasing our parent communication via letters, phone calls, home visits if needed, educating our parents, as we talked about, on our district policy and the importance of being in school, as well as coordination for any families who may need assistance from community resource, and trying to reduce the spread of illnesses within each of our buildings or within certain grade levels. In terms of assessing our current parent communication strategies, one thing that we're looking to implement this summer are students who are considered chronically absent at the end of this past school year will be identified, and parents will receive a letter letting you know that your student and child what is considered chronically absent and what does that mean. As we mentioned, we are required to do the parent survey, so come September, any of those 4 schools who have been considered chronically absent, the parents will receive a survey similar or if not identical to the one that WIS and the high school shared out last school year in order for us to solicit some information from the parents. We're going to implement a back to school night video for all of the parents to be educated on the importance of back to school, of the importance of coming to school, as well as what our policy states. And then, as I mentioned, different time periods throughout the number of times that your student may be absent, benchmark calls or letters from district and building administration. Ways in which we'd like to engage the parents and the students is, as I mentioned, the introduction of our campaign of attendance heroes, providing the students who have a good attendance record with student certificates and celebrating them, creating some community food partnerships for those students who do demonstrate good attendance, maybe getting a free ice cream somewhere or a free dessert or a reduction in cost with some of the partnerships and restaurants within Wall, and also creating different class and team incentives within the buildings. So the last component that is required by the NJDOE is for us to evaluate our current policy, which we did. Last week at our admin retreat, our administrators reviewed our attendance policy. We were looking at different verbiage and things that are included in our policy. We compared and contrasted it to different districts across New Jersey to look at things that they may have in their policy that we don't. We're going to make possibly some recommendations on adjustments to our attendance policy throughout the course of the upcoming school year and share those recommendations with staff leadership positions across the district as well as our PTO executive boards when appropriate for their feedback and input before anything moves forward. And thank you. We look forward to continuing to reduce our absenteeism rate. So, thank you. Thank you, gentlemen.
Okay. Before you go, Isla, I just wanted to, again, because it's time for the President's report, I just wanted to, I was going to, again, congratulate you again for your tremendous poem and the recognition that you got. And it's great to see your wonderful family here tonight supporting you. Continued good luck to all of you. Thank you very much for coming. Okay. Just a couple, it is my turn, all right? A couple other things in my President's report. A few things. I just want to, I know we'll do further recognition later this year, but we did get news just recently that longtime intermediate school teacher and WTEA President Gail Marr will be retiring. And I was sad to see that news because you've been such a wonderful teacher and a great resource for your people and for the district. So we hope, we wish for the best for you in your retirement. We will miss you, and we will certainly further recognize you at another meeting. Last night at the F&F meeting, I'm going to steal a little bit of Mr. Buffett's thunder here, but I don't care. And he mentioned a little bit about our dual graduations that we had. Fortunately, the weather cooperated. It was a little warm, but I mean, it's been warmer. As someone who has done graduations in the past, I recognize the amount of work that goes into that. Certainly to Scott Crisanda, our facilities manager, Chris Allworth, our technology supervisor, for all of the things that they have to do that you don't even notice, all right? You expect it to go well, and it did. And I think that was a tremendous thing. I also want to congratulate Mr. Lachlan and Mr. Davis for conducting the graduations in a very professional manner, and also for your staff being there, supporting you and supporting the students. I also want to really congratulate our graduates, both the intermediate school and high school students. Their behavior was extraordinary. They were respectful. They enjoyed themselves. I know the families appreciated that, and it was just, a wonderful evening. And I was very, very proud of Wall Schools after seeing that. All right? And I think that's all that I have for tonight. So I'm going to turn it back to Dr. Hanrahan for the superintendent's report.
Thank you so much, Mr. Maliff. I hope this meeting finds the residents of Wall Township enjoying their summer months Once again, I would like to congratulate Isla Pham for earning first place in the 5th grade category of the Monmouth County Poetry Contest. I am certain this will not be the last time we hear about Isla's academic accomplishments and contributions to our district. Best wishes to you as you transition from Allenwood to the intermediate school. Also, thank you to Ms. McCann, Mr. Laughlin, and Mr. Davis for presenting this evening. Just a few reminders. Supply lists and summer assignments for the 2025-2026 school year have been posted on the respective schools' websites. Also, please don't forget about our weekly lunch hour virtual parent academy. Our next session is scheduled for tomorrow, July 16th. Please visit our website's homepage for details, including dates and topics. These sessions are presented by a mental health clinician from Rutgers Behavioral Health, who also supports WTPS students. So, the information that's shared is certainly, not only is it relevant to students through the K-12 continuum, but it's relevant also because it's really a microcosm because this clinician works with our kids. I'm happy to share that once again, our summer programs have been very well attended, and the students are having so much fun as they receive academic support, STEM enrichment, and character education. Thank you to all of our hard-working staff working in the extended school year and Summer Nights Academy. Our total district enrollment numbers for June 2025 are as follows. Pre-K, 80 students. Kindergarten, 228. First grade, 225. Second grade, 233. Third grade, 248. Fourth grade, 236. Fifth grade, 280. Sixth grade, 237. Seventh grade, 253. Eighth grade, 260. Ninth grade, 219. 10th grade, 215. 11th grade, 249. 12th grade, 235. And that yields a total enrollment of 3,198 students in the district. I would like to share that the Wall Township School District has submitted all required paperwork as of this time to the Office of Controversies and Disputes regarding the physical education complaint that was filed against the district. And we look forward to any kind of follow-up from the state of New Jersey and cooperating fully with them. As Mr. Maliff mentioned, there were retirees that are on this agenda, and I just want to wish them the very, very best. I'm very grateful to see some faces come fall so we can have a proper goodbye, but one is here this evening, and again, to echo Mr. Maliff, as superintendent of schools, I've worked very closely with Ms. Marr and our WTEA president. And Ms. Marr was WTEA president as I entered the district. And, it was the summer of 2020. And I think I spent more time with Ms. Marr than I did, certainly my family. We spent many, many nights together, many mornings together. We'd had a lot of coffee. And, we worked really beautifully side by side. By design, we're not supposed to agree all the time, but I am, so proud to say that we've had such a wonderful dialogue, healthy discourse, and, sometimes when there's different points of view and you work together and you work cooperatively and collaboratively together, what your product that you come up with together is much better than what has come up singularly. So since the summer and really the 2021 school year, there have been so many opportunities that we have worked very closely on trying to, find common ground to get the best solution for our students and for all of the employees here. So I want to thank you for her service, and I'm super grateful that she's going to be here in September so we can have a proper thank you. And we'll be having typically what we have done is we recognize retirees in June, but we seem to have quite a handful for retirees that are retiring in the fall. So I hope to maybe instead of bringing everybody back in June, maybe splitting it up into a fall session and a spring session. So stay tuned for that, and more mushy stuff later, Miss Moore. So, but congratulations, and I'm super happy for you. But I think that's definitely. But before I turn the meeting back over to our board president, I would like to congratulate our Wall High School class of 2022 alum, Andrew Fisher, for being drafted first round by the Milwaukee Brewers. This is super exciting news. So exciting that I think I have to run out and buy some Milwaukee Brewers merch. Who would have thought that I'd be buying Milwaukee Brewer merch? But I feel compelled to do so. So, Andrew, if you're listening, I'm doubting you are, because you're probably out celebrating after the draft. Congratulations to you, and well done. And to all of the WTPS community, enjoy the rest of summer 2025. And thank you. Mr. Maliff?
Okay, thank you. Andrew's probably on his way to the Milwaukee Class A minor league team right now. I bet you they're going to be putting him in uniform very soon. Thank you, Dr. Hanahan. At this time, it's the Board of Education update. Are there any board members who would like to make any comments? Okay. Seeing none at this time. Committee reports, the minutes are available on the agenda. Any committee chairman wish to make a comment on any of the committee reports? As I said, they are on the agenda. Mr. Buffa.
I just want to remind everybody to keep an eye on the referendum tab on the website. There's a lot of good information on there, a lot of updates, and that's pretty much it.
Mr. Maliff?
Thank you.
As a
Ms.
member
DeGiovanni.
of the F&F committee, I just want to say we took a tour, and we've been doing this over the course of this referendum project, touring the schools as the projects are underway to see the progress. And we toured, WIS last night, and it is amazing to see what is going on, to see the referendum work, in real time, and some of the stuff that's coming down the pike is absolutely fantastic. I'm super excited for the district, and I can't wait to see the finished products.
Absolutely, and as a member of that committee as well, I've been on all those tours. I'd just like to compliment our business administrator, Mr. Smythe, who pretty much is the host of those tours, and he really knows these buildings. He really knows the buildings. He knows what's going on there. I feel very comfortable that he's on top of these things, so I appreciate that very much, Mr. Smythe. At this time, we're going to open up for our second public comment session. Anybody who would like to come up for the comment on agenda items?
Betsy Cross, wanted to bring that up again about that rescission under item C, employee number 11732, effective July 16, 2025. So if you could, before you vote, because nobody has any idea what this is, because it wasn't on a prior agenda, if you could give us some idea what it is. What else? I see some changes to the music program. I see that. What else? I see cooperation with law enforcement agencies. There's a change with that. Wall's gotten written up, I can't tell you how many times, for not cooperating with law enforcement. There was a whole report written on it. I can share it with you if you'd all like to see it. But it's gone on with the football, teachers having sex with students. Things just are not handled right. The attorney bills, I'd like to see them promptly put up online, not have to follow up and ask Mr. Smythe, why aren't the attorney bills online, so he can count that as an Oprah. Looks like lots of lawsuits, lots of attorneys, lots of lawsuits. The issue that was mentioned before, why don't you put up the documents regarding what there's a judge that's now been named for that case, but for all the issues that you got with the gym, not hiring the right staff and letting teachers go, so they don't have to be Oprah. Just put all the documents online. I can't believe how many bills I see for Athena Cornell regarding this. It's ridiculous. So put everything online, and maybe put, an item of what she's doing, because this is costing us a fortune. And I know we in the past, and we just get bad legal advice from Athena Cornell's law firm, which is now Meth Fessel. What else? I don't like to see that these 3 reports are not online. The month of June is ended, your books are closed, and the documents should be online. I did send in an email about money missing in Lakewood. We use the same bank. I said, was Wall missing any money? And I did not get a response. And here we have these reports that are not online that should be online. They should not be available at the end of August. If you don't have the money to pay these health claims, we need to know why and where you're getting the money from. So those 3 reports, I will follow up with the Comptroller's Office and Office of Fiscal Accountability and Compliance, and I think they're going to have to find out why you're not posting them. August, I'm sorry, just is not good enough.
Okay, thank you, Mrs. Cross.
All right, you can,
Do we have anybody else for public comment?
if you can answer that question before you vote, I'd appreciate it. Thank you.
Don Herbert, I see on the agenda you have buying 2 new buses. I'm glad to see they're gasoline and they're not electric. And the flat nose buses, how much longer are we going to keep them before they're outdated? I know they're good for 20 years. It's not 20 years yet?
Thank you. Is there anyone else for public comment? Okay, seeing no one else for public comment, we're going to close public comment. At this time, I'd like to ask for a motion to approve the consent agenda. Mr. Wondrak, a second? Ms. DiGiovanni. All right. I also would like to hear a motion to table 16B, numbers 7, 8, and 9. Can I have a motion to table that? Mr. Brereton, and, okay, Mr. Marin, second. Barbier, Ms. Barbier, second one. Thank you. All right, so we're going to vote on the tabled motion, is that correct?
Correct.
Okay, let's have a roll call on the tabled motion.
Okay. On the table motion, roll call, Ms. Adams.
Yes.
Mr. Anizio.
Yes.
Ms. Barbier.
Yes.
Mr. Brereton.
Yes.
Mr. Buffa.
Yes.
Ms. DiGiovanni.
Yes.
Mr. Smith.
Yes.
Mr. Wondrak.
Yes.
Mr. Mallon.
Yes. All right, now we can go back to the consent agenda, and we need it's already been, we've had a motion and a second. Now we need to vote on the consent agenda. Roll call, please.
Roll call, Mr. Anizio.
Yes.
Ms. Barbier.
Yes.
Mr. Brereton.
Yes.
Mr. Buffa.
Yes.
Ms. DiGiovanni.
Yes.
Mr. Smith.
Yes.
Mr. Wondrak.
Yes.
Ms. Adams.
Yes.
Mr. Mallon.
Yes, with the following abstentions. 16A, Roman numeral 7, letter A, number 92, and 16A, Roman numeral 7, letter D, number 15. Yes on the rest.
Noted.
At this time, I think we need to take a motion to go to executive session. Is that correct? Yes. So can I have a motion to go back to executive session to conclude the things that we were not able to do during our executive session earlier this evening? Do I have someone
I'll
make
make the
the
motion.
Mr. Buffa, Mr. Adonisio, second. Can we just all approve, or do we need to roll call?
You can do a voice vote, but note that we will, no action.
The no action will be taken. We will not be returning to public session after this. All in favor? Aye. We will go to executive session.